You guys only take infield at home? Or most of the time?
Yeah, home.
Have you been taking it more?
Don't have time to do it on the road. No, we've been pretty consistent with the same thing from day one. You can't do it on the road. On the road, you have less amount of time to hit, and there's no time. You don't see the city teams disappear in the game.
Manny, would you like to go back to when you always took infield before, after BP and
No, yes.
you don't want to,
No, that's why we have computers and cell phones now. That was if you go back in there, eat, do whatever you're doing, then you have to drag these guys out here to get their arm loose again, to take infield for 10 minutes, and when they go back in there, they only have 20 minutes to get dressed, to go to the training room, to come out here. It's you get your work in earlier, and that's enough.
What parts of Gimenez's game, catching-wise, have improved to you?
He's receiving skills. I mean, I didn't see him in the past, but I can't complain for what I see. He does a good job receiving, and he studies the game and hitters very well. He's done a good job on the occasions he's been back there.
And he can him have a night like he had last night. Can that maybe loosen things up for him?
He's here to be a backup for Lou Marson. He's not here to compete with Lou Marson. Our catcher here is Carlos.
I don't
He's healthy and
that,
Lou.
but just generally the way he's swinging bats.
Always help. Help anybody.
But he gives you a little bit like, spring training next year. Maybe could he compete with Lou for the backup spot?
Let me make it to Christmas first, and I tell you about next year. He did this spring. I mean, he's a versatile guy. I mean, that's one of the things we like about him. Is we need an outfielder, he can do it. We need a first baseman, he can do it. That helps. And his attitude, obviously, that's good too.
You guys still have him take ground balls and fly balls?
He does during batting practice. I don't see a lot, but here his primary job
You want him
is to be a backup.
know how to catch.
We're happy with his progress behind the plate.
As a baseball fan, or just follow the game the way you do, with Strasburg getting hurt, obviously you feel bad for the kid, but is it just kind of a cautionary tale that young pitchers, anything can happen to them almost?
It happens. It happened to Rondon 3 days ago. So that's part of the game nowadays. The great thing about it is that kids are coming back from that Tommy John surgery with a higher percentage of success rate, and it's never good news. But the thing is, back in the days, there were no MRI. So now when a guy had an injury like that, he had to pitch through it, or ruin his career, or not being able to come back from it. So God bless technology.
Learn to throw a knuckleball.
That was another one. That was another way to try to survive.
I mean, I know you guys are on it, but when you early, one of the reasons you said you can't, or about the AL Central.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to spit it out here. About the AL Central, you said, it's really anybody's division every time you go to spring training, and it's kind of working out almost that way. If you look at the Twins and the White Sox, they're both making moves. They're both. Is it lived up to your expectations competitively?
It is. I mean, that's why we love it. Except that we can't compete, without 2 or 3 of our best players. Unfortunately that's our case. And hopefully going forward we don't go through it. But it would have been interesting to see even when we don't have yet, we're working toward getting a pitching staff to where it was a couple of years ago. It would have been interesting just to see where we would have been with Grady every day and with Cabrera every day, and Santana here. So we love our division. I think, yeah, a couple of teams might be, ahead of the other ones because of the pitching staff. But that being said, it's a competitive one, and it'll be again next year, wide open in our eyes.
Is that the way the team really should be judged? I mean, the fans could have said, well, the Yankees signed these and the Dodgers and this and that. Well, they're not in your division. If you worry about winning your division, you're in the playoffs, you got a chance. I mean, that's what you got to worry about Chicago and Minnesota, Detroit.
I mean, your main thing is getting into the playoffs. It's only 8 of us to get in there. And once you get in there, nobody knows what's going to happen. I mean, how many people were picking the Rockies a couple of years ago to even get into the playoffs? Not only they got into the playoffs, but they went to the World Series. So, I mean, the main thing is trying to get into the playoffs. I mean, the way things are set up nowadays, you have 2 good starters, and you can cruise. You get all the way to the World Series. Baseball is unpredictable. Baseball is tough to predict.
Padres.